Okay, good afternoon. Thanks, Marty, for the patience. Name is Eric Metzger. I'm the CEO and founder of MRLO Partners. MRLO is an acronym that does not stand for Merlot, obviously. It stands for Mountains, Rivers, Lakes, and Oceans. For the next 10 to 12 minutes, that's what I've been allocated, right, Marty?
You just took 3 of them, but yes, I'm leaving you with 12.
For the next 10 to 12, pull you through a really unique luxury real estate opportunity that, as Marty was saying, over the last 15 plus years with 30,000 participants in his Ivy family office networks, I don't believe this has ever been presented. And the message is really targeted towards the heads of the family office. So if there's any family office representatives, I'm going to encourage you to champion the message to the head of the family. The family that owns this island is a prominent South Florida family office. They've been in the high-end real estate and asset space for the last really kind of 100 plus years. They've been the mainstay down in the Florida Keys for over 200 years. They've been there since the early 1800s. And I've consulted for them back in 2008. And the consulting was more so for high-end luxury real estate, which is the space I've been in for 30 years. And here it is, 2025. And 8 months ago, the executive chairman of the office reached out through legal counsel to connect with me to figure out what can we do with this very unique island in the Florida Keys. The family is a 7th-generation family with a rich history dating back to the early 1820s, and they have significant and robust real estate holdings that they've acquired, including a series of private islands. We, MRLO Partners and the family, have formed a joint venture partnership to develop one of their private islands in the Florida Keys. So the opportunity is to be one of 13 original shareholders of this island. The family is going to remain because this is, they've used this island as their family retreat for really the last 20, actually going over 40 plus years. And what's unique about this type of real estate, it's all about family. And when I asked the executive chairman, why wouldn't they just sell the island? Because they have a robust portfolio that they've acquired over 200 plus years. Why wouldn't they just sell the island? And the answer was pretty clear. They didn't want to. They had 2 offers, one from a public company and one from a privately held company, to purchase the island. Private islands in the United States and then in the Caribbean go anywhere from 15 million up to 150 million if it has utilities. This island clearly has utilities. And what brought them to MRLO? Why would they want MRLO to help them with this? So a little bit of background on me. Who is MRLO and where have we been over the last 30 years in this space? I personally have been on the ground in 21 luxury developments all around the world, from Half Moon in Montego Bay, Jamaica, to the Cotai Strip with Sheldon Adelson, formerly Sheldon Adelson, with Las Vegas Sands. I handled all the marketing for the Hard Rock in Vegas in 2006. We ended up doing the largest single-phase real estate launch ever done in North American history at the time. CFSB took out a full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal, LA Times, Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and the New York Times, announcing the largest construction facility loan ever done at $1.25 billion. My direct report, not a report, my direct contact was the founder of the Hard Rock Empire, Peter Morton. So my experience is typically spending 3 to 5 hours with high net worth individuals in these 21 luxury developments that I've worked in all around the world. And it's typically the husband and wife that are making the decision to purchase the real estate on behalf of their family. So when the executive chairman of the family office came to me, he wanted to know, what is the absolute primary reason why people buy second, third, and fourth homes. What is it? Is it because of the golf course? Is it because of the boating? Is it because of the fishing? No. It's pretty simple. The answer is pretty simple. Time with family. That is it. That is the number one reason why people buy second, third, and fourth homes. This family has owned this island for nearly 50 years. It's 1 nautical mile away from a 5-star restaurant and a world-class spa treatment facility.
Do you want to stay on?
It is,
Make sure you know how to do it.
Yeah. I'll leave.
what we got there, Marty? So time with family is number one. Secondarily, why people buy high-end luxury real estate and destination properties is because of time with friends. And everything else is secondary. Golf, tennis, pickleball, skiing, boating, fishing, equestrian. And some people clearly do it for investment. So the interesting part about this island is the history of the island. For some of the older people in the group here, have you ever heard of the movie PT 109? Anyone? JFK, correct. The family was responsible for ushering in. There was 7 presidents that have been known to spend quite a bit of time down in the Florida Keys. They've ushered in 4 of those presidents. Here is President Truman and Admiral Halsey. Here is a member of the family with President Truman on one of their boats. Here's a photo of the family with JFK. And I asked about PT 109 because part of what they've done in their robust real estate portfolio, they've collected a series of private islands. They've selected this specific island as their family retreat. And when I connected with the executive chairman just 8 months ago, when we were putting a structure together for this opportunity, his big thing was he wanted me to go to family offices first. He already had 2 offers, one public, one private, to buy the entire island, and he refused to do it because of the memories of what this island had for his kids and their and now his grandkids. There's a little snapshot of PT 109 being filmed from the island. And here is, in the early 60s, the head of the family office at that time, spending time with his wife on the island. And this is a unique one. Here's a 3-generational shot of the current executive chairman is the baby being held in his father's arms there. And they're actually on this particular island in these photos. Here's a couple of the fellows catching some fish, coming down the dock. Now transformed to the 70s and 80s. The young man with the cowboy hat and the camouflage pants is now the president of the family office. And here he is sharing some fishing experiences with his buddy on the island. Here's a family gathering at the end of the Deepwater dock. Some more children playing, their kids and grandkids. At any given time, they would have 20 to 25 kids on the island. So the main reason this opportunity is coming to us now is because they don't want to sell the island. They want to maintain a share or several shares in the island. And the opportunity is there's only going to be 13 original shareholders. Transportation to the island is similar to how it is today. There's really 3 modes of transportation to get to the island. 1 is by boat, 2 is by helicopter, and 3 is by seaplane. There's a shot at 6:28 in the morning from the island. And again, to repeat, it's 500 yards away from US 1, Overseas Highway in the lower Florida Keys. So what's going on the island now? Phase 1 renovations. There's 4 existing structures that are nearly complete with about a $4 million CapEx that we've spent. The 4 structures are, let me go up to this. The 4 structures are the Deepwater dock, the Great House, which holds about 11 bedrooms. We have a welcome center, and then there's 2 more guest bedrooms. Phase 2 for the island is going to be construction of additional beach cottages, bungalows, pickleball court, resort-style pool, helipad, on-island concierge, sport fishing boats, jet skis, paddleboards, kayaks. Completion of Phase 2 is anticipated to be midsummer 2026.
Hey, Eric, we've got about 3 or 4 minutes left.
You got it.
Can you really just, is this like a Fisher Island sort of opportunity or is it something different?
It's something different because it's going to be limited to 13 families. The family office is going to retain 3 of these shares. They actually want the most inopportune months because their family is nearby. Particularly in the Florida Keys, they're taking June, July, and August. So arguably the best availability for shares for the 10 families that'll join us are out there. So they'd like to do it within the family office space because they are one and they want to share that with other families as well. So here's some updated photos. Picture on the top right is the president's wife and their little baby. They've got 4 children, and that's the children with some cousins. And then they're 1 mile away. The island's 1 mile away from a great scuba diving place, about 1 nautical mile away. There's going to be a resort-style pool. The existing deep water dock is there. Here's a photo of the island from the water, looking back to the island. Here's a photo from the 2nd floor of the Great House.
Eric, are there any issues with things like insurance? You know, it's Florida, it's the Keys. I mean, you know, insurance costs are skyrocketing.
Yes.
Maybe it's immaterial in the family office space.
No, of course, there is issues with insurance, particularly down in the Florida Keys. But from this perspective, it's a matter of utility and usage. And, you know, my experience in this space is family offices aren't looking to buy something and turn it quickly. They're holding on to it for a significant period of time. So.
And you get there via helicopter or boat or?
Yeah. So again, to repeat, I rifle through those pretty quick. Marty's question, it will be their helicopter or boat to get to the island. It's just literally 500 yards from US 1. So there'll be a ferry service going back and forth. But if you so desire, you can arrive on boat, your private yacht. You can arrive via helicopter, and you can also arrive via seaplane. So again, photos of the resort-style pool, deep water dock, and some views from the 2nd level. Couple sitting on the dock, sunset, and then the opportunity. So just in repeating, to own a part or a share of a private amenitized island in the Florida Keys, our plan is to only have 11 original shareholders. The reason I say 11, when I mentioned 13 before, there'll be 10 family offices ideally that'll share the island. And the family office that owns the island will take 3 of those shares. So there'll be 11 total families that will own the island together. If interested, here's my contact information. Please take a screenshot. I'll be able to disclose who the family is, a little bit more about the exact location of the island, some more specifics. Just in deference to the family, they just asked that I just keep their name private at this point. We'll send out a non-disclosure disclaimer to those that connect with me just out of respect for the family. We'll do it.
Yeah, this is super interesting. Did you have a question, Ron?
Yeah, so. Yes, sir. So the question is there any CCRs or rules and regs, covenants and restrictions, articles of incorporation, all the necessary things for a development? Our legal counsel is Baker Hostetler, that is going to be putting all the documents together for basically it's going to be under a Florida shared regime. So it'll be a deeded trust. You'll get a deed to your share. So it's real estate. So it can be, obviously it can be resold, but that's not the intent. But there is an exit strategy in case you wanted to sell your share of the island of being one of the original 13 families. Did that answer your question?
Operational, all the necessary operation.
Yeah, so, yeah, so MRLO has significant experience in the high end. This is considered fractional, private resident club, so to say. We've had a lot of experience with this in other developments, the most recent one being in Boot Ranch in Fredericksburg, Texas. We sold maybe about 150 million in fractional. We had 11 billionaires buy into that project as a stepping stone into the development. And there is a reserve that each family will pay into to maintain two on-island concierge, and for all costs are members' costs, so to say. So real estate taxes, insurance, which there is insurance, real estate taxes, insurance, utilities and such will all go under an owner's regime, and they'll pay that yearly.
Fantastic. Great job. Thanks so much.
Any other questions?